Hello, hello. Is everything working okay? Got a few kinks and bumps, and there we go. Maybe that works. I still see a screen on here, Larry. I'm not sure if that's gonna show the whole time. There we go. Hi. Welcome to the Full-Time Investor with your host, me, Mandy Branham. Got the title Joint Venture Queen. Certainly still learning to tarnish my tiara every once in a while. No, I don't wear pink dresses. I don't wear tiaras, but I'm certainly happy coming to you today and letting you know, announcing that today will be the first of many of my show, The Full-Time Investor. Going to be here every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So set it in your calendars, and we will be able to see each other once a week. And I'm going to tell you that I'm going to bring you so much value that you're going to walk away with your mind blown. You're going to have little tidbits of information. I just had a call this morning and somebody was like, I just made 2.5 pages of notes. So I'm going to encourage you that for our show, you might want to bring your journal. You might want to bring a pad of paper. You might want to record it. Certainly feel free. You can go back and listen to it whenever you need to do it. So I am Mandy Branham, full-time investor. I've been a full-time investor since 2016 and certainly embodied the role and have been learning the whole time that I have been doing this. And I learn, and as I learn, I share. So this is part of the reason that the show has come up, that I want to be able to share what I've learned with you and be able to go out there and impact all kinds of people's lives in various different ways. So thank you for being here. Why did I call the show The Full-Time Investor? Well, I want you to know that that I'm an authority in the industry, coming to you with top-level information. I'm always learning. I'm not perfect, like hand on a Bible here. I ain't not perfect. I certainly don't know it all. I'm always learning. But I wanted to be able to share with you what a day in the life of a full-time investor really does look like. What do I do all day? What does a full-time investor? I have a lot of people that say, hey, I'd like to be a full-time investor. And you go, really? Are you able to handle it? So this morning, I wanted to tell you the purpose of why I've created the show, what I do as a full-time investor, and a little bit about me and how I got here, a little bit about my story, and a little bit about what's to come, so that I can encourage you to come back every Thursday and watch this and watch the show. So this show is going to be a lot about role playing. We're going to have some massive guests on that. P.S. They might not know it yet, but I'm pretty sure I've passed it by a couple of them, and everybody's pretty happy about being able to come on and share this kind of stuff. It's going to be a lot of teaching, a lot of sharing, a lot of role playing. I have a testimony from a gentleman that attended one of my seminars, and there's a lot of this, presenters on stage and audiences, everybody's packed with, and they're like, here, take this information and go home and be, and implement it into your life. And I say, you know what? Let's start right now. Let's role play right now. You want to have a conversation with somebody and you think it's a difficult conversation? Let's role play it. Let's see what it feels like for the first time before you're actually in that role to be able to do it. So we're going to do some role playing. Some sharing, some learning, and so that's why I want you to kind of come back. So what does the day in the life of a full-time investor look like? Well, so when I was starting out, I would every day be looking at properties. I'd be looking at and analyzing different properties. If I didn't have a property, I didn't have a partner or a financial institution to have to be talking to. So the first part of my day was always looking at new properties, whether that be on Realtor, talking to my realtor and talking about different deals coming up, talking about what's going on in the market. So really staying up to date with market trends, which kind of associates with what I would do at the end of my days as well. So right now we're just kind of in the morning. So I'm always looking at properties. I talk to my power team during the day. So if there's financing that I need to be on top of, that I need to be organizing, insurance questionnaires, insurance stuff, I always talk to my power team about making sure that stuff's moving along. If I need to open a bank account, if I need to go do some banking, I'll do that in the prime time of my day. And then in the evenings, what I'm doing is talking to investors, I could have joint venture conversations. I could have, sellers who might be selling that I'm having conversations with outside of, the daytime business hours. And then many of my evenings were spent at local real estate events. So I would definitely travel around. I remember Larry would say like it was like my night out. And I would leave, I'd dress up very professional to be able to go out to these events to make myself known as somebody who was active in the investing world. And I'm going out to these different events to learn from the various speakers, learn about market information, learn all kinds of stuff. So I relate that back to the communities, the cities, the economic drivers that go to the properties that I was looking at. That's where I would coordinate. I would do the research of the property in the morning, and in the evenings I'd make sure that I'm making sure that that's still a city that I want to invest in. And I'm networking. Here's another thing, a full-time investor. I kind of had no friends for a while. I mean, again, I might be talking to my realtor. I might be talking, which hence why she's one of my close friends. I'm talking to my realtor. I'm talking to my JV partners. But really, the day-to-day things like, hey, what did you watch last night on TV over a cup of coffee in the coffee room? That didn't happen for me. I was lonely. Larry worked all day, although I was happy to send the kids off to school because, they didn't necessarily they were distractions per se in my day for the focus that I like to have. So it's pretty lonely being a full-time investor. So those evenings when I would go to those events to socialize with people, for me to actually like get dressed and be the professional that I know I am was really an upside of my evening. So then at the end of the networking session was the networking after the networking, which is usually, out to a restaurant, out to a bar, and we would have a couple drinks. And that is where let's tell the honest truth about what's going on in your day. That's where I learned. I want to be able to say that during this show, I'm going to name bomb. I'm going to be saying some people's names with, gratitude in my heart and love for these people. And Gary McGowan and Andrew Brennan, I went to one of my first networking meetings, and they were talking about going out for drinks after. And I was like, yeah, sure, let's go out for drinks after. And I bought beer and wings. It cost me $75. And those beer and wings were some of the best $75, the best networking that I've ever had go on in my days. So we were sitting around one night going, hey, I've got a frozen pipe story for you. Okay, so again, I'm learning about properties. I'm putting together my power team, making sure that my deals are all kind of flowing. That's part of the day. I'm networking at night, and then I'm networking after networking. Okay, this is where I'm saying the real learning is going. And so the networking after the networking, I'm saying to them, oh my gosh, I got a frozen pipe story. And they're like, whoa, I've got a frozen pipe story. So when you're in your own little bubble, you sometimes think that your problems are the biggest problems that you could ever handle. And what you realize when you're networking with people is that you're kind of like, whoa, like I'll take my little problem back here because your problem is way bigger. So I had a frozen pipe. It was in the bathroom. It was on an exterior wall. Larry had to fix it. He clamped it the way it is. I think we had to put some new drywall around one area. No big deal. Gary had a frozen lake in the bottom of a property of his. Like, I think he described like a skating rink. And then there was Andrew, who said he had water coming out of the front door of a property. Various situations. It's not always a fault, but it's just always something to be able to say, do you know how to deal with a situation that maybe you didn't even know what to do so you're listening to other investors and you're learning what they're doing. So that's certainly a huge part of my full-time investing, what I'm doing. As you continue to grow, there's certainly different aspects of things that come in. You're taking on, during your day, you're dealing with a lot of tenant issues. You're constantly on call, making sure that you're signing leases and getting tenants in place and such. So there's no lack of things to do in the day of a full-time investor. I'm not going to tell you that it's scheduled 9 to 5, that you show up at 9 and you come home at 5. But I'm also kind of sharing with you that the harder you work, within those work day hours, whatever they are, the more results that you get out, because your results are a direct correlation to your effort in. Okay, so that's the hugest part about what I have discovered since my time in 2016 when I became a full-time investor, was that the harder I worked, the better my results were, and that was just all on me. Okay, so that's what I do. So then the other part, I don't think you can kind of see it over here, but oh yeah, right there, joint venture opportunities. So I am a full-time investor. I have a strategy that works for me. It's not a strategy that everybody needs to incorporate. There we are, right there, host the JV Queen. So I do a lot of joint ventures, and I'm certainly happy to be, I was going to title this show, maybe I should have this, like how many different titles we went through to be able to get to the full-time investor, but we were going to call it JVTV, okay? And maybe that'll be like my network, like the Oprah network. Maybe this will be a network that we have, JVTV. So I do joint ventures, and you're like, what is a joint venture? And so joint ventures can be found in various different businesses, like in all kinds of areas of your life. You can have joint ventures, times where you joint venture with somebody to be able to buy a house. Hey, I can't afford it, or I can't do it on my own. I want you to be able to help. You can't do it on your own. Let's come together and we're going to buy a house together. A lovely mentor of mine, Simon G. and Annie, used to tell a story about a lovely two young single moms that he helped. One of them lived upstairs in a duplex in Toronto, and the other one lived downstairs in the duplex in Toronto, and they did a joint venture. And wow, how awesome that it was that at the time they brought together their resources. And now they own this duplex in Toronto, like cha-ching, what smart people. But if you try to do things all on your own, you're kind of missing the fact that you're limited by what you can do. And so joint ventures kind of bring two sides of two strengths together. So you might have somebody that has resources. You might have somebody who has, a business that has certain resources, trees, wood, things like that. And then you're matching them with another business that is able to do something with those resources. Yes, my studio is in my house. And these are the realities that go on in my house. So a joint venture is a type of business, two people that come together, two businesses that come together to be able to combine the resources that they have. So in my real estate world, look at that. I just took a breath and started to slow down. So you can tell that I'm kind of getting used to this broadcast a little bit. Two types of people that come together. In my real estate world, I'm looking for somebody who can bring the capital. I'm looking for somebody who is a phenomenal expert at what they do, but doesn't mean that it has to be real estate. But they've got the knowledge and the wherewithal that real estate is something that they want as part of a diversified investment portfolio. So, and I think real estate is such a hot topic these days. Everybody is concerned about this bear market, bull market. I don't even know, because the real estate or the stock market's not something that I specialize in. I certainly hear Larry and a few of his mentors, and go on if there's going to be crashes, if there's going to be whatever. So here's this professional person who loves what they do. Maybe they're a doctor, a lawyer, maybe they own their own business. Maybe they have some inheritance, whatever. And they have capital, they want to invest in real estate, but they don't know what I know. Whereas I'm the real estate expert. So I kind of say, hey, come over, partner with me. Let me help you invest your money into some solid assets, into some great high performing in good markets, fundamental drivers, no speculation kind of going on with why we're buying these assets. So that's the purpose of a joint venture, is to bring two people that each have unique skills, unique resources to come together to be able to do deals that they wouldn't have been able to do on their own. and build a security of a financial future together. So to share the resources, to share the outcomes, right? So yeah, you have to share the results, share the returns. But you know what? Half of something is better than 100% of nothing. And so in my world, I kind of sit back. I usually do 50-50 joint venture splits. And I've had a few investors. I'm practicing, but now that I'm practicing on you guys, I'm going to say it. I'm pretty confident in it. And somebody said, would I consider a different split other than 50-50? I said, yeah, I'd consider 60-40, but I'm not sure if you're willing to give up that extra 10%. And so I share with you that the value that you bring to a joint venture is the exact value that you are expecting from the other side of the party. So, you know what, in future shows, we're going to be talking more about partnerships and why they are essential in our world, in our global world, okay, from a very high level partner specialist. I'm going to be interviewing many of my local joint venture experts, people who are just killing it in today's market, either silently or online, doing great things. And I'm also going to be bringing on some of my power team. Some people who, how did they help me get to where I am? For me to, like, you know what, I will share with you how I've gotten to where I am, to recognize the uniqueness and the specialty of what I do within the real estate world, for you to be able to learn from. Yeah. So every Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be hosting this show. I'm going to be sitting right here, maybe a shared screen with some experts, maybe some offsite locations. I know Oprah does offsite shows sometimes, so if I'm going in her direction, then that'll be something I'll consider. But I'd love your feedback. I'd love to be able to hear some questions for you, so that we can make sure that this is a show that if you have questions about how you can increase your net worth, how you can add real estate to your portfolio, what type of investments are there out there, those will be some of the things that our experts will be going over while we're here. I'd love to be able to have your feedback. Please feel free. And yeah. And until then, this is what I will call out the wrap up of episode number 1 of The Full-Time Investor with Mandy Branham. Thanks for watching, guys. You still going there, Larry? Yeah, I'm still here.